Up in the sky? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it more Injustice things to talk about even though they haven't revealed any new information? What's going on YouTube? Whew. It's... Let's see. Let's see. Oh, yes. It's SuperDude. You guys are back here with me in the fortress of Broitude, and what am I going to talk about today with you, my super friends? First, let's talk about the tag that stuck out of my hat. Fix that. Today, we're going to be discussing the Injustice 2 roster, but wait, you say? SuperDude, have you gone insane? Insane in the membrane? No, I haven't. I'm going to be discussing the Injustice 2 roster for the future. I'm going to be discussing I'm going to be taking a look essentially at the Injustice 1 roster and who I think won't come back. We're going to skip past the people who have already been announced to come back. And I'm going to go in alphabetical order because that's the way they're listed on here. Starting with drum roll, please. We're gonna go with Ares because Aquaman already confirmed as returning. Excuse me. Turn this sideways. Now, do I see Ares returning? I'm gonna have to go with no on an Ares return. It just doesn't seem likely in my opinion. I mean, last year he sort of made sense as a foil for Wonder Woman, like as somebody Wonder Woman could go toe to toe with that wasn't Batman or Superman. But since they're trying sort of to establish Wonder Woman on the same level as Batman and Superman, like she's one of the big three is what they're calling them, it makes sense that he wouldn't have to return. I would want him to because he's a cool character, but in all likelihood, I don't see him returning. I see him being replaced with a new character. Maybe his spot will be taken by a main rostered Martian Manhunter. I very well think he could possibly make a comeback as future DLC, considering the consensus is we're getting 10 DLC characters, but I don't see main roster for Ares. Sorry, even though he was one of my better characters on that game. Next, Bane, also a favorite character of mine. However, I also don't think Bane is going to be making a return to this game. Simply because I believe his spot will be taken up also by a new character. Probably a Swamp Thing, if I had to guess. Like, we have Gorilla Grodd. Everybody wants Swamp Thing. It would make sense for Swamp Thing not to be DLC. It would make sense for Swamp Thing to be immediate roster, considering the outcry for him for DLC last year. It would make no sense for them to the hate they would get if they held him for DLC buys would be ridiculous. Now, again, Batman already confirmed. Black Adam, that all depends. I'm going to say he has a 50-50 shot. Black Adam does. If Shazam returns, I would see Black Adam returning. However, if we get Static Shock, which I have my fingers crossed for, I don't see Black Adam coming back. So my overall consensus for Black Adam is possible, but not likely. And moving on to Catwoman. No, I don't see Catwoman making it. I don't see them putting her in there for lots of reasons, but the main one is she's essentially useless. This is virtually useless at this point. That was my phone. So do I see Catwoman coming back? No. Uh, and there's a lot of people I don't see coming back from this roster, but one of them I don't see coming back also would be Cyborg. Now, hold on. I already see you guys getting ready to type hate comments about all these people that I'm saying aren't returning. I don't see Cyborg coming back for the simple fact that we were just announced Blue Beetle, and they both have the same thing going on. Like, they both have the, hey, look at my technology shtick going on. And I don't see room for both of them story-wise. I don't see room for Cyborg and Blue Beetle both. So I'm going to say no, Cyborg's not returning. Deathstroke, I'm going to say Deathstroke is returning. I'm going to say Deathstroke returns simply to combat some of the other human fighters on non-powered fighters. Your Green Arrows, your Batman, those people. I see Deathstroke returning because I feel like we need a gunslinger character, like a veteran gunslinger, to return, especially if you're going to have a Red Hood, which, again, fingers crossed, top of my list. So Deathstroke, I see them having room for him to return. Doomsday, I see Doomsday being replaced with Darkseid. I see Doomsday being replaced with Darkseid simply because Darkseid was the more requested out of those two. Like, there was a poll somewhere, not by Ed Boon, but there was like a fan made poll of Doomsday versus Darkseid, and Darkseid won. And I was talking to my brother about this, and originally I thought Darkseid had no place, but then he said something that I got to thinking about. He was like, I said, this game seems to be Superman trying to take back over, and he was like, what if Darkseid was like, you need some help? Boom! Lasers! And not in so many words, but Doomsday, I don't see making it. I see him being cut for a Darkseid. Flash, he was in the trailer. Flash is making it. Moving on. Green Arrow. I'm going to give Green Arrow the check, the return check, simply because to kick him out would make a lot of fans mad. Especially a lot of fans of the CW show. The same reason that I don't see them getting rid of the Flash anytime soon. Flash is a staple. Green Arrow is becoming a staple. And thanks to their TV shows, they are becoming a lot more popular with the fan base nowadays. And Flash is getting a lot more established. I even see Kid Flash being announced for this game, but I'll do a whole nother video talking about who else I see being new. But Green Arrow, Flash, both, I see them getting greenlit to come back. Flash is already in it. He's in the trailer. He just hasn't been completely announced yet. But why would they put him in the trailer if he's not in the game? It doesn't make any sense. Next, Green Lantern. I'm going to say he's coming back for the simple fact that Atrocitus is in this, and it wouldn't make sense to have the Red Lantern without the combative Green. However, I don't think it'll be Hal Jordan that's going to be the Green Lantern. I think they'll go with one of the Earth Green Lanterns. I think maybe they're going to go with Jon Stewart as a Green Lantern this year. That's just my theory, my opinion. I think they're going to go with Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, but I do think Green Lantern's coming back. Harley Quinn, no-brainer. Harley Quinn's got to come back. She is one of the most popular female characters in Injustice. In DC Comics, period, she's one of the most popular characters. So I see her returning easily. I see Hawkgirl not coming back. I see her being replaced with Hawkman. I see, like, maybe she gets a cameo where she's taken down in battle and Hawkman has to avenge Hawkgirl or something like that. And then you get Hawkman instead of Hawkgirl. That's just my thought. Joker? No. I don't see Joker coming back. I don't see Joker coming back for one reason and one reason only. He is no longer useful to the narrative. The reason I believe Joker was even in last year's game was because he was the inciter of the whole game. Like, he was the reason Superman snapped. He was the reason that Supes went off the deep end and punched a hole through his chest. He almost destroyed the entire city. Like, he was the reason that everything rolled into motion. But I don't see there's no room for, there's not a place for him like that here. So no Joker, no Hawk Girl. I see her getting replaced with Hawkman. So moving to Killer Frost. Now this is an interesting one. I give Killer Frost she's another one of my 50-50 characters. She's like Black Adam. If they're gonna put Captain Cold in it, I don't see Killer Frost being in it. I just don't see two characters that have that close a power set, even though Superman, Supergirl, whatever. I don't see Killer Frost and Captain Cold making it. But if they don't do Captain Cold, like if he's just a DLC character, I see Killer Frost making it. But if not, I don't. I'm going to give her a 50-50 shot. Lex Luthor, this is a tough one, but I'm going to say Lex is not going to make it. Again, he's just one of those, I don't see a spot for him. I don't see room for him. I don't see him being necessary to the overall narrative of the game. But rolling right on through to Nightwing, I see Nightwing being replaced with a Robin. If Nightwing's in it, great. But I see his spot being taken up by a Robin. Specifically, Tim Drake Robin. But I don't see the Nightwing character coming back. Although I do have my doubts about it. I will give him a 50-50 shot. Only if Robin is not put in the game will you see Nightwing. But I see Nightwing being replaced by Robin this go-around. Raven! Moving to Raven. Hands down, I see Raven making a comeback. I see Raven, she's too... Like, I feel like they're going to do Raven. I feel like they're going to do Beast Boy as DLC. And I feel like they're going to do Starfire somewhere. I don't see Cyborg coming back, but if they do bring Cyborg back, it would make sense if they're going to do the Teen Titans. It would only make sense if they're going to do the Teen Titans. Even though they're not teens, nor are they a team anymore. But moving from Raven, I see Raven coming back because she's got a unique power set, a unique gameplay style, and I can see her making the cut for Injustice 2. I see her not being cut immediately. Shazam, Shazam is one of my on-the-fence characters. Like, I see him not making initial roster. I see him popping up somewhere DLC-wise. Just for you, those of you who don't know, I see the DLC being 5 old characters and 5 new characters. And I see Shazam being one of them. I don't think that it would make sense to bring back a killed Shazam. Like, it would just bury the drama of Shazam being killed in the first game. So I don't see Shazam making initial roster. And that's what this is initial roster speculation. Sinestro, sorry, buddy. You were replaced by Atrocitus. We don't need Sinestro. If we get Sinestro, fine, whatever. I'm going to be using Atrocitus anyway. But I don't see Sinestro making the cut because Atrocitus is already in there. I don't see him necessary because Atrocitus is already in there. I don't see him likely because, and say it with me at home now, Atrocitus is already in there. I see no point. But moving on to Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy, It all depends on, again, if they put, say, a Swamp Thing in this game. It all depends. I I really see Swamp Thing, and I really see the old big guys getting replaced by new big guys like Solomon Grundy. I feel like he got usurped by Gorilla Grodd. I feel like that's gonna be our Solomon Grundy of this game. It'd be cool to see Solomon Grundy come back because he's one of the better Superman villains, but I don't see Grundy coming back specifically because of Swamp Thing possibly coming in, and the fact that we have Gorilla Grodd. I don't see the roster being flooded with a bunch of big men. The last two here are Superman and Wonder Woman, both of which are already confirmed. So we're going to move down to the DLC characters of Injustice. We're going to start backwards from the last one to the first one that they released. Martian Manhunter, I see him being an immediate roster addition. Simple as that. I see him being too popular to be let to fall to the wayside, and I see him being an immediate roster addition. General Zod, I see him being cut. I see him being cut in favor of Superboy, possibly. I don't see him making it. But it would make sense for there to be 2 to 3 Kryptonians in this, because Batman clearly has gear that is Kryptonite based, and I feel like that's going to give you advantage against Kryptonian characters. I feel like that's what that does. So it would make sense for, say, Superboy to come in, but I don't see General Zod coming back. Scorpion, no, just please no. Scorpion was cool, great. NetherRealm, you put Poster Child in this. I don't see Scorpion coming back. I see Sub-Zero being DLC because that's what they do. And if they're going to do Sub-Zero as DLC, they have to give him an Injustice makeover like they did Scorpion. Moving on to Batgirl. This was a tough one. This is a tough one. But I see her being left behind. Oh. What's... Whoa. Excuse me. I see Batgirl being left behind. I don't see this game being loaded down with so many Batman characters. Like last year was. I feel like they were just like grasping at straws trying to get characters, and then they threw in a bunch of Batman characters because Batman characters are easy to do. But I don't see Batgirl coming back in this one. And lastly, Lobo. I'm going to say Lobo not going to make it. And I know I've said a lot of these aren't going to make it. I just don't see a lot of these characters returning. Like, I can see possible few of them coming back, but I don't see a lot of them returning. I see a lot of them being undercut. I see a lot of them being undermined for newer characters. I feel like this game is going to be mostly new characters versus old characters. Like, you're going to have more new characters than you have returnees. But I just don't see... I don't know. I just don't see it. Like, I don't see a lot of... I just don't see a lot of old characters coming back. But that being said, let me know what you guys think of who all will and will not be returning in this game. I'm sure that my predictions are going to be proven false, like 100% or at least 87% false. This was just something to give you my thoughts on the whole matter. As soon as I'm done recording this, I'm going to record another video of who I think new will come in. Not who I want, who I personally think will. Just like, because. And I will be giving my thoughts on who I think the 10 DLC characters are going to be in that video as well. So if you liked this, like it. If you enjoyed this, comment about what you thought about my picks. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm right, if you think I'm I don't know if you think I'm sexist. I don't know. YouTube comments get weird. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new, please subscribe to this channel. If you're already subscribed, leave a little like. Leave a super like, super subscribe, and super comment. Always, always, always adding super to everything. Hashtag super everything. But that is all for this video. You guys have been Super Friends. I've been SuperDude in the Fortress of Broitude, adjacent to Angel Grove, with the off-ramp, on-ramp to Suplex City. And until next time, guys, hashtag Green Ranger for Injustice 2, up and away.